Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is the Press Play Podcast. I'm your host, Drew, and I got my co-host with me today, Troy.
Hey guys, how's it going?
All right, guys. So today we got a good episode in store for you guys. We're going to be discussing some of the greatest games that we don't ever think will have a sequel. Will have another addition to their franchise. Um, there's been a lot of good ones, and from one reason or another, they just have went out of place, either from financial loss to just stupid decisions in the company. And we're gonna be encompassing all those different franchises today, at least the ones that we deem necessary. I'm sure there's some we're gonna skip over that we haven't been super
Haven't played,
involved
haven't,
with.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So I guess we can start it out with what do you think is your number one, gaming franchise you can think kind of off the top of your head that you wish would come back or you think should come back? Maybe not only because it would be successful or whatever, but just like you personally would enjoy the most if it came back.
So I really enjoy horror games, like good ones. So I'm really kind of surprised, which maybe in a few years it will come to fruition. But Silent Hill is kind of shocking to me because Silent Hill 2 was super, super well looked. I mean, they remastered it. Uh, there was a third one though, wasn't there?
I know there is Downpour. I don't know if that was the third one or the
Yeah.
fourth or something. I don't know how
So
they did it.
I'm surprised they haven't tried a new one because with the climate of horror games, I mean, there was a for about a year, I mean, I don't know, a couple of years ago, horror games was like the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised they didn't try to go back in or make a announcement. Of course, they probably by the time they got it done, probably wouldn't have been in time. But that, and then we talked about this off camera, but Resistance,
Mm-hmm.
the Resistance Fall of Man series, I love that game. It was like to me, and I don't like sci-fi stuff. So like for an alien game to really like draw me in like that, I mean, I really liked it. What about you?
Yeah, I did too. I liked Resistance. I love Silent Hill. Those are both really good, underrated franchises. Maybe not so much Silent Hill being underrated because everybody still raves about it to this day. And then we just had the remake, which I mean I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think it did pretty well. So maybe there is hope for something in the future. But as far as my favorite series franchise that I want to see come back into the gaming sphere, um, I'm sure that there's gonna be some that like slip my mind because my mind's horrible, my memory's horrible. But off the top of my head, I have two that come to mind. The first is the Ultimate Alliance series. I know we had one recently, but I don't really count that. It didn't feel anything like the other two games. So but Activision, what happened with that game is Activision ended up losing their license to Marvel. So I don't think we probably will ever see those again, sadly. But I mean, man, you have the first Ultimate Alliance, which I think is one of the best superhero games ever made. I mean, the story and the gameplay wasn't anything super insane or crazy, but it was the PS2 era. And at the end of the day, when you're trying to play a superhero game, you can't ask for anything more than just a huge roster of superheroes and villains to choose from, and just be able to experience all their different abilities on on a game. And something really cool about the first Ultimate Alliance was it had console unique like characters. So the PSP would have different characters, the PlayStation 2 would have different characters, the Xbox would have different characters.
Hmm.
And I don't remember the specifics of who was on what, but I know that was the thing. And I know Mortal Kombat did that too also, which is really cool. And they had like Kratos on the PlayStation.
I didn't know they did that with Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Of
Yeah.
course, I only played it on the PSP, so that's
Mm-hmm.
probably why. But
Yeah,
that
they
is cool.
did.
You don't see that anymore. Actually, I can't even name another time you did see that besides Mortal Kombat, like you said.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some little examples here and there, but it doesn't come to the top of my mind. And I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something that like correlated with that. Maybe it'll come back to me. Oh yeah. It's like how Marvel Rivals has the team up and stuff. They stole that from Ultimate Alliance because Ultimate Alliance, I don't necessarily know if it had boosts and stuff, but you would group up like the certain groups of characters that like related to each other, and it would like tell you like the team name and stuff. And I don't know if it would give you a boost or anything, but I think that was really cool. Like you could have the Midnight Suns if you had Blade and Ghost Rider and Wolverine or whoever. Like I don't know the specifics of every single character that's in the group, but you could do the Avengers. You could do like all the Spider people together, and there's just a whole bunch of
Hmm.
different little cool groups that you could figure out. I spent a lot of time just putting random combinations of people together and trying to see if I could find one of the teams.
I remember that now. I forgot that
Mm-hmm.
was a part of it, but yep, I
Mm-hmm.
do remember that. That was a really cool feat. To me, that's probably the best superhero game they've made. It
Yeah.
obviously, Spider-Man's
Yeah,
good,
the
but
best
like
like
overall
multiple,
hero
yeah.
game,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that I mean,
115%. It's not even close in my mind.
that's why I'm surprised they've tried all these other like MMOs. I'm like, if you wanted to, I was like, make Ultimate Alliance, but make it like Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, make an MMO, but people loved Ultimate Alliance, or just make another Ultimate Alliance that people like.
Well, the
Like
thing is
once
that
again, we're trying to come up with a new formula that
I
the
think
formula's already
Sony has the
there.
license though. Now they have it to Spider-Man. I don't know who has. Well, they probably have the Marvel license because they have Wolverine too. Insomniac does. So I don't necessarily know if they hold the. I don't know how that works. I don't know the specifics, but it really sucks that we probably won't get to see it again. The second one was good. I didn't like it near as much as the first one. The third one was kind of just a miss for me. It's not a bad game, but just from what we had from the first two, it just wasn't up to
Yeah, I
snuff.
mean, I'll be honest with you. I thought Ultimate Alliance was a PlayStation exclusive,
Mm-hmm.
anyways. I completely forgot it was on Xbox. So I literally would have just thought it was like, okay, yeah, Sony can make these games. Like
Mm-hmm.
they already were making them, so I don't know why this matters. But
Yeah.
I see the problem now.
No, dude, it. I don't know, but at the end of the day, it just kind of sucks because I mean, you take something that's so beloved by everybody, and it would do nothing except succeed if it were to come out again, and you just have to sit there and wonder, like why is it like this? We get all these games coming out nowadays that are just like shots in like the foot, like Suicide Squad killed the
Yep.
Justice League. There's the Batman one. I don't remember what was it with like all the Bat people. I forget what it's called.
Oh,
Gotham
Gotham
Knights.
Knights.
Yeah, Gotham Knights.
Yep.
I just and then you have a golden goose just sitting over here and you can't even touch it. It just sucks.
I didn't even touch the other ones,
I didn't
even
play
when they
those. I
were
didn't play
free.
the Avengers either.
I,
Live
nope,
service
I
games,
wasn't touching
dude.
them.
Live service games are
I,
trash for the most part.
yeah,
Like you can have Destiny, you can have certain MMOs that are going to be okay, like Elder Scrolls Online, and I guess you can consider Fallout 76 now, to an extent because it's gotten so much better from where it launched. But and it's part and due because the TV series success. But I don't know.
yeah. I mean, it's just looter shooters have to be done correctly,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's another episode in the future. But those weren't done
That'd be a good one.
correctly.
No, I can't really think of many looter shooters that have. We're kind of getting off topic, but I can't really think of many like looter shooters that I really would even care to play anymore. I maybe, and it's just maybe not. I don't know. It all depends on what games are out at the time. But like if GTA 6 is out around the time, if Metal Gear Solid remakes out at the time, because I don't know when it releases, but maybe if there's nothing else to play, I would try Borderlands 4. But that's really the only looter shooter that I can really, I mean, Doom isn't like a looter; it's just a shooter. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I mean, I think looter shooters are done. Not just to kind of end this topic, just because
Mm-hmm.
we are off track. I think looter shooters are done, except if it's Borderlands, or I guess if I don't classify Diablo as one, but I mean, pretty much you run around, mash a button to kill enemies, and then you loot. So, but
Yeah.
I think that genre is done. I'm sure there will come an era where it is it's going to come back, I'm sure, just like all genres do. But
Mm-hmm.
for now, I think those are dead, besides Borderlands.
Absolutely. So I had two series in mind. I had that the Ultimate Alliance series, and then I know you didn't like it as much, and I don't know how well it would necessarily do, but I really did enjoy that Mercenary series. It's kind of I would equate it, I guess, to Just Cause, but with a little bit more freedom. And I don't think Just Cause is like some amazing franchise or anything like that, but I mean, for the time, you look 2005. There's not a lot of whole good like open world games where you can do a whole bunch of stuff, and that was kind of just a wayfinder, a waymaker, just a stronghold for the genre of just open world sandbox destruction militaristic games, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Second one wasn't even close to as good as the first one, but the first one was really good, and it was kind of a gem from my childhood.
I lost my train of thought, I'll be honest. That's why I was hoping you went ahead and took it. You go ahead.
Okay.
I flubbed it. I flubbed
We
it.
can edit it out. It's all good. And then this isn't like a specific like. Well, I guess to a degree it is because it was the Cabela's series. But I missed the old Cabela's hunting games. It like
Yeah,
though that was a good one. I mean, it really
before they got
was.
story based.
Yeah, before they got story based, like the Cabela's Dangerous Hunts, and then I mean, even to a degree, the story ones weren't like terrible. Like some of them weren't terrible, but I
No,
just
but they didn't have like free hunting. And if you're gonna hunt,
yeah.
I, let me hunt. Like a
Hmm.
campaign's fine, but
Yeah, but you shouldn't be beholden to it. You should be able to free
like
hunt. Yeah.
the one game that should be like open world is a hunting game.
And then what they did really cool. Hunter Call of the Wild's pretty good. I'm not gonna sit here and trash that. It's a fun game, and then Call of the
It's a good
Angler's
hunting
okay.
game.
But I liked what they did with Cabela's. I forget what it's called, Alaskan Adventures, and then there's another one where you could hunt and fish, and that's what I think is really cool. Like I guarantee you, not many people care about this at all, but it's our podcast, and we both enjoyed it, so we can talk about it, and it fits
Yeah.
this narrative that we're on. Um, I miss the old hunting and fishing games that just weren't story based and you could just, screw around. Those are games to me that we don't really have much anymore where you can just have this mindless fun of just aside from like an open world game, but sometimes you don't want necessarily like an open world like game. You want like an open world but not like with loot and just stuff to find. It's just something that you can just kind of just throw on and just like not even think and just have a little bit of fun and we're kind of like really missing that in today's age of gaming.
We are. I mean, you're not wrong. I just I don't understand the downfall of hunting. I
Hmm.
get, add a campaign. That's fine. I mean, I thought some of the campaigns were okay. Some of
Hmm.
them kind of sucked. But like you would pay like $60 for a game and the story would last like 2 hours. Like that was literally just a cash grab.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember the last like Cabela's hunting game I got. My parents got for me. They got it after I got a good. This is the only time I ever got a game for getting a good grade in my life. It was when we were still in the school we went to, the private Christian school we went to, and
Mhm.
I got a good grade on a math test, and you know as well as I do how bad I am at math. So when I got like
Both
I
of
think it
us.
was like an A minus or a B plus, I got like a really good grade, and they were so proud of me for that. They went and they got me Cabela, was it Big Game Hunter or something, 2010 or 11 or something like that, 12,
Probably.
somewhere in that age, in that era, and it was pretty fun. It was story based, but it was open still, like you were still like transversing through the world. It wasn't like hub based and stuff like the other ones. Like it had like a decent amount of freedom and you could shoot other things that you weren't directly hunting, but I mean it was nothing that to write home about. It was just that's kind of
No.
when the downfall started for the hunting games, but that's just the last one like Cabela's wise that I can really remember playing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the last one I played was the one you played. I remember it being a story, and I remember like a bobcat or mountain lion or something was harassing you. That was
That's
the
the
one I
one.
played.
That's the one I
Yep,
think.
that's the last one at least I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So eh, I think they stopped after that one, or they only made a couple more after that and then stopped. Thank the Lord.
Right. I mean, there's
It
no point like to make games that are just gonna be garbage like that. I mean, literally, like it's just like shovelware essentially at that point. They're just throwing this garbage out that nobody's gonna buy, and it's just a waste of resources. Like, I mean, I don't know if Cabela themselves invest money or if they just like throw their name on like a hunting. I don't know how it works, but they have fallen off just
uh, I
extremely
feel
hard.
yeah. I feel like they care very little for the game.
But and
Most of
I
their money obviously comes from actually hunting.
Well, yeah,
So
and then they bought Bass Pro over though now, but they could have a hunting and fishing game. It just sucks because they have so much like, and you would think that hunters don't game and stuff like that, but you got to remember hunters out of any sport. always will be the most expensive out of everything. They have the most money. So I guarantee you a good majority of the hunters, they have consoles and stuff. If you make a good game, I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
they'd play it because there's a lot of downtime in hunting too. When you're at that cabin, when you're, traveling, if you make a good hunting game that's accessible to these people, I'm telling you, when they're in their off season, they still think about hunting. They still want to do it all year. So if you can get like their little fix whites in the off season, I'm telling you that's a good idea. If I had the funds, I'd do it because I know a lot of people that would be interested in it more than you'd think.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think that series is dead, and it's probably going to be dead for a while.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. But I mean it's just this is gonna be the tagline of the whole episode. And it would just be cool if but with that out of the way, kind of just what we want here. There's more things I want, but I would have to sit and write down a list, and I didn't do that. I'm just going to be honest. This is just kind of off the cuff. This is just how I feel. There's a little list here of games, though, that I do have that don't have a sequel, don't look like they're going to get a sequel. Doesn't mean they won't, but as of now, it just isn't looking, too promising based off, everything
It
else
ain't
going on.
looking good.
It ain't looking good. And the first one, this is probably going to be, I would assume, both of ours on this list of games that we definitely would want another. And I honestly think this, out of every other game, has the best chance of getting a sequel at some point. And that is Bloodborne.
I do love me the Soulsborne series. I would like to see a Bloodborne 2. However, I do respect that the guy who made it
Miyazaki.
won't make a sequel. Yeah, Miyazaki, because he said, I don't want anyone else to touch it. And that gives me hope. Because he easily, like Dark Souls 2, he wasn't like the main guy on it. And people
Mm-hmm.
say Dark Souls 2 is like the worst because it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
feel like Dark Souls. So, I if he says don't touch it because I'm going to do something with it one day, by all means, as long as he actually means it, I'm fine with that.
Well, to this
Because the worst
day,
thing
go
the
ahead.
worst thing a sequel can do is be forced to be made, and then it sucks. I can't think of one time they forced a sequel to be made and it was any good.
Yeah, sequels almost always do much worse than the previous game, and I think a shining star example of that, Last of Us 2. Um,
Yep.
and the sequels just usually don't do good. I mean, there's a litany of reasons as to why certain sequels do worse than others, but we can get into that in another episode of why sequels kind of just
Another episode.
aren't warranted in some cases. Um, but that's neither here nor there. And yeah, Bloodborne, if Miyazaki is going to be part of it, which, I mean, it's his baby. If you are going to tarnish the entire, world of Bloodborne if he's not involved with it, because to this day, I think that's the game he said he enjoyed making the most, and that's what he's most proud of. But what I don't understand is that dude just, I don't think he'll ever make a bad game because he made Elden Ring and he said that's not even his best work. He said his best work is yet to come. He still hasn't got to make the perfect game in his mind yet. And you
I
want
mean,
somebody like that running the ship. You want somebody like
mhm.
that in control. And for
Someone who's
me,
never content.
yeah, exactly. That's how it should be. That's how you should be. Somebody really loves their job when they're saying stuff like that. It's kind of like Kojima from the Metal Gear series and Death Stranding, which I'm. This is so weird for me because you would think somebody like me would say Death Stranding is just some dumb game, but I freaking loved it, and I am like honestly like I am. It probably is my most anticipated game this year, aside from Metal Gear Solid Remake. I really thoroughly enjoyed Death Stranding too.
When's it
Or
supposed to come
excuse me,
out?
Death Stranding. It's supposed to come out this year. I don't know the release window. We could look it up real quick.
I
Um,
can look it up.
okay,
My PlayStation store's pulled up anyway, so.
okay. Yeah, I don't know the exact date, but it is supposed to come out this year.
June 24th.
It's perfect too
So,
because summer is a great time for a game like that to come out, or
yeah,
winter. Those are the two best times.
I still need to beat the first
Oh,
one.
you haven't even beat it? Oh wow.
Dude, I haven't even gotten to hold a weapon in that game.
Oh my lord. I uh, I tried to play it the first time. I got to the snow area. Kind of need to take a break for about a year and a half. Came back, beat it, loved every second of it. I mean, you just have to be in a certain type of mood. That's what I will say because those games, it is UPS simulator, but I mean, it's also very relaxing. Like when I was talking about a game you can just mindlessly play and not think about. That's one of the few games in today's climate that actually fits that narrative. Because you can just literally just listen to the soundtrack. You can throw your music on, and you can just walk around the living room. It's very weird how like how much fun you can actually have like just doing something so simply. I don't even understand how I enjoy it still, but I do.
I thought it was funny when people called it a walking simulator,
I
and
mean
I'm
it
like,
is, but
but yeah, but I'm like, what did you like? What? Just like based on the trailer, I could have told you that.
yeah, and that's the beauty of it because I don't know. There's just something to be said for the simplicity of like some things, and yeah, you have to watch out for the I forget what they're called, but like the invisible monsters, and I forget what the term is for them. You have to watch
Oh,
out for
that's when I
them.
quit playing.
It's
I was in the
spooky.
forest. Yeah, well, I was in the forest, and I didn't realize what I was doing because I didn't pay attention in the cutscene. And they kept just, I mean, just
You gotta
beating
crouch
me
and you
to
gotta
death.
be you gotta like crouch down and then you
Hold
have
your
to hold your
breath, and
breath. Yeah, yeah, you gotta.
yeah, I didn't know that, so
Hmm.
I just kept getting demolished, and I'd
Yep.
drop all my stuff in the woods.
Yeah, it's very annoying,
It's a terrible
especially
time.
when you're crossing just a little gap of water that isn't even like more than a couple feet deep, and you slip and fall, and all your stuff goes down the river. That's I've done a couple of rage quits based off that, and came back and had my. But
I'm sure you've had some things to say.
there were a few words said after each incident that I will not repeat on stream or excuse me on this podcast. But there's definitely a few choice words that were
On
said.
stream, he'll say them though, so go
Yeah,
check out his
on
streams.
yeah, I need to start streaming again. I need to do it not even just because like I like doing it, but I need to get it so I can get more like a mindset of doing this, so I can get better at this because it's good. Like it's good doing this because I feel already like I'm starting to finally get back in the groove of doing this. But it just helps when when you're just consistently making content, consistently being in front of the camera. It just helps you just to be more prepared. I guess is how I'm trying to phrase it, but.
I know what you mean.
But yeah, we got Bloodborne. That was our first one. Both of us, it gets a thumbs up from us. We want a Bloodborne 2, but only if it's done by Miyazaki. But again, Tencent did, or excuse me, not Tencent. PlayStation does have a majority hold in From Software now, because they have the most shares in Katakawa. So you know, holding out hope that there will be a Bloodborne, at the very minimum, Bloodborne remake, at the very minimum. But man, would it be something to see a Bloodborne 2?
I
Um,
have one that I don't know if you wrote it down.
okay, go ahead.
Did you write down Lord of the Rings Conquest?
I did not. That's a very good forgotten one and that can go along with the Battlefront series as well because that's what it is. It's essentially the
Well,
same thing. It's
yeah, I
it's the
mean they
same thing with a
kind of
different
brought it
skin.
back. Yeah, I mean, well, they kind of brought it back with the Battlefront like newer series, but I feel like they should have
That
called it
doesn't
something
count.
different.
It's
Yeah, they should have called it something different. It's not the same.
No, it's fun, but it's not like I don't know how to describe it because I was never really a Battlefront like player. I had a demo disc I think of it or had like a demo like that I could play and it was fun. I played it a
Mhm.
lot, but Conquest that holds a special place in my heart. I forgot to mention that. I don't necessarily know if they would ever come out with another one. Maybe a remake or a remaster would be great. It's just I don't know. It's fun when you can play as the different like you can play as the good and evil. You can play as the different classes, and then you can work your way up to get the Sauron, to get Gandalf, to get Balrog, to get Sauron, um, to just be like any of those people. It sucked playing as Frodo. I remember I didn't really ever like playing as
I,
him, but
no one did. I
but
don't know one person that was like, "Oh, I want to be Frodo."
I remember I'd always be so pissed. I'm like, give me Legolas, give me Gimli, give me Aragorn. No, it gives me Frodo, and I'm like, oh my god, dude. But yeah, no. I still remember going as Saruman with the mace around, playing the evil campaign, and taking the hobbits and smacking them with the mace. Dude, that was so fun. It was so
Those
fun.
those little hobbits just walking around, and you just
You destroy the Shire is the final
yeah,
mission.
yep, burn it to the ground.
Burn it
You
to the
just
ground. This was
yeah.
before the fires in California, so they did it first. It all,
Yeah.
it all
Yeah.
started in Lord of the Rings Conquest.
Yeah. That's where they got their inspirations. Good lord.
Jeez. That's a very good one. I did not have that on my list. You
What, the
have,
wildfires?
well, I didn't have that on my list either, but now it is.
You need put on a list.
I'm sure I'm on a litany of lists, if we're being honest. Not any registries, but on some lists.
let me clarify. Hold up.
Gotta clarify. Yeah. So the next one that was like actually pretty funny. The next one I have is the Order 1886. I know you played this. I've never played it. I've seen a little bit of gameplay and it looks fun. But the main reason I haven't replayed it is because it's been so long, and since there's no like remake or remaster, I just kind of have shied away from it. But I guess that's on here. That's on my list.
Did I play that game?
The Order 1886. Yeah, you rented it or played it like it was one of the. I remember you played it because I didn't, or maybe your dad
I
played
want.
it.
I think my dad
Oh, I
played
knew
it.
you had it, but I. Okay, maybe.
No, yeah, I think he rented it. Yeah, I never played that
Never
game.
mind. Moving on.
You said that. You can see that in the recording, and my face being like, "What's he talking about?"
We'll leave that in there. But yeah, I saw you like your account play it, so I thought it was you. Um.
No, I remember the game. I remember
Oh.
what it was about, but I no, I don't think I ever played it.
Oh well, people said it's good, and I haven't played it. I've
Isn't
watched
it
some
about
gameplay.
vampires?
It's about what's his name? Is it Jack the Ripper? Is that what his name is? It's about some guy
Maybe
trying
that's
to
what it
find.
was.
I don't
I
remember the
thought.
premise, but yeah, you go around like killing monsters and stuff. It seems pretty cool. I know we both played
Oh
this one.
yeah.
Um, this one take us back to the good old free games on Xbox 360. Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, I love sleeping dogs.
Me too.
I don't know why. This is gonna sound really bad, but I don't care. My favorite part of that game was when you could just go and kidnap people, put them in the back of the car. Because no other game you could. Not even in GTA could you just kidnap people.
I
So I would
love
just
that
kidnap
game.
people and then just drive around and then just let them go or like whatever, drive into the ocean. I don't.
I think I did that
I,
so many times. I just love
I
how
think
you.
everyone did it. It wasn't just
Oh,
us.
everyone did so much stuff in that game. My favorite part about the game is like literally what it's based around is the martial arts. You don't have to sit there and have the gun. You don't have to have the bat or the knife. You can just sit there and just beat people to a bloody pulp with your fists and legs. And that's the one thing I like. Probably gonna get me into some hot water because like with the online, I would say GTA better. GTA is better, but if you're just talking just normal game versus normal game, no multiplayer, I think Sleeping Dogs is better. I don't care if people don't like that or
I like
whatever.
the martial arts. I like the fighting
I
style
like
of
the
it.
game better. I like the game a lot better. Just as like a story game, I like Sleeping Dogs way better than GTA. Sorry if that
Yeah,
hurts people's feelings. I
you know,
just prefer the gameplay. So
GTA stories just never really
I've
like.
never finished a GTA story ever.
I tried San Andreas, and I think I would like San Andreas, but I don't know. I can't get into them. I mean, it's the same with literally like any Rockstar game. Like I'll play the online a lot. I can't really get into
I liked Red
the
Dead.
story.
Besides Red Dead, those are the only ones. And I want to play Max Payne 3. I wish they would remake or remaster those. They are remaking 1 and 2, so I will play those when those come out because Max Payne series is really cool. You play as a cop, and you know it just seems pretty cool. But yeah, I'm right with you. Aside from the Red Deads, I've never finished a Rockstar campaign. I just like going around free roaming and seeing what you can do in the worlds. And to be honest, if GTA 5 didn't have their online where you can like make your own character and do whatever, I probably would never have played that game. Just being honest.
I mean, it was fun. I mean, I think their online is probably one of the best multiplayer games ever made.
I would agree, even though it's
Just
been
because of it's old, but I mean,
yeah.
you could do the
People still playing it
Doomsday
today. I
stuff.
mean,
Yeah, you can do heists. They had like so many
best live
side
service
missions.
game, not even close.
Yeah,
Best live service of all time.
they gave you so much that you could do that you never felt like, oh, like Red Dead. Red Dead's online's just
Oh,
boring.
it's
It's
horrible.
dead.
It's better, but it's still horrible. I mean, it sucks because
No.
if they put in a third of as much money and energy into the online and Red Dead, I think it could be maybe not as popular, obviously, but I think it could be pretty damn populated and pretty damn fun. A lot of people would enjoy it a lot more.
I just don't get how you can make GTA Online and then like Red Dead be so boring. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's just boring.
Yeah, you can't
Like
do
there's
very
just
much.
so little to do. I mean, you
Like the
can
camps
bounty hunt,
suck.
you can fur trade, like that.
It's
You can
all
do like
just
three things.
it's all just single player stuff that you can do with friends. But in GTA, there's actually different stuff that isn't in the story that you can do with your friends. I think that's the biggest differential.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no
It's just
heists, and
yeah, no.
you
They
know
said you're going to be able to rob trains. I
they
think
might
you
have added
can
that
now,
at some
maybe,
point, but
but
it's a lot different robbing a train though. Let's be honest, than doing a heist on GTA. It's you
yeah,
know I don't know.
you're
GTA
not
is
wrong.
set up to where it just has so much more to offer because with there's so much more that we have like in today's era with our technology and stuff versus what they had back then. But still, that doesn't mean they can't do things to improve. Just looking at from your penthouse or your house in GTA to the campsite, like it's night and day different. Like you can have a couple
It is.
different furs or maybe some different like stuff here and there, but man, you can literally customize so much stuff in your penthouse in GTA. And well, at least later on, at the beginning you really couldn't, but now I think you can. You can get the Doomsday Bunker, you can get the penthouse at the casino, which they added the casino. Like they added so much stuff, and that's like what we're alluding to. What you were alluding to earlier, and I agreed. Where it's one of the best multiplayers of all time because just all the stuff that they add to just add to the experience, and it's free too. That's the thing people don't talk about. It's literally free when they add all this stuff. Granted, you might have to play in game to get the money to do it, but it's free.
No, yeah, and you get a daily spin even. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
win cars and stuff in it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is a good option.
It is, and I don't know. I only think I ever got into like I think I got to maybe level about 200, which is nothing compared to people that play GTA. I got to like just before level 200, and that's across the from the PS4 to the current day, and
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm excited for six. I know we're kind of off topic a little bit because we're just getting into GTA from Sleeping Dogs, but we're not
At
perfect.
least GTA has a sequel coming out.
Has a sequel coming out, which if they didn't have a sequel coming out, there'd be a real big problem because that's probably the most profitable game. It is the most anticipated game of all time. I know it's probably going to be the most profitable game of all time. I mean, I know me and you, it isn't like our favorite game. We're not like just sitting up in here just GTA 6, just like we're going on like a roller coaster. Like I mean,
Yeah.
but I'm excited for it,
No.
and I can't wait to see
It'll
what
be
they do.
fun.
It'll be fun.
I
Yeah.
think with our group of friends, I think it'll be entertaining.
Well, it'll definitely be entertaining, whether it be fun or just a living
So I
hell.
said entertaining.
We'll see which way it goes, but it'll be entertaining. We won't be bored. That's the one thing. Somebody's gonna be getting shot with a rocket launcher or ran over by a car at some point.
Or the game's getting uninstalled.
I can already think of a
Whatever
few
happens
people
first.
that I'm ready to torture on that game. So,
Or who will do the torturing.
well, there's gonna be some physical altercations IRL if it becomes a little too much. So
Well, I
we'll
mean,
see. But yeah, Sleeping Dogs. We're sitting over here talking about how GTA is not as good as Sleeping Dogs, and then proceeding to talk about. But that's the differential. That's the long story long. That's that's what I'm alluding to. The multiplayer is the complete like differential between like say a game like Sleeping Dogs and GTA. That's why so many people play it. That's why it's so renowned to this day. That's why it has so many updates. That's why people are still playing it. It just when you have something that you can do and do with friends and do it like that's
hmm
fun and replayable and enjoyable. I mean, you got a recipe for success right then and there. Um,
yeah,
I guess I for
it's.
go ahead.
I was gonna say. I mean, it should be a good game. I can't imagine them fumbling GTA. So
No, there's no way. I mean, it might not be as good as what people are anticipating, but I think if that's the case, they're just doing it to themselves because they're expecting
yeah.
too much. But for somebody that doesn't isn't like a GTA aficionado, I think me and you will both be pleasantly surprised by the game and
Oh
enjoy
yeah.
it. That's I'm anticipating it to be an enjoyable experience, but I'm going into it with an open mind. I haven't really been looking at a lot of stuff about it. I really have only seen the trailer I think once, so like I just it's something I'm excited to try, but I'm not you know over the moon about it. So
Yeah. No, I'm same way.
okay, moving on. And I know this is Rockstar 2, and I know we both played this. It's been quite a while for me, but Bully, I kind of forgot about that.
I I enjoyed Bully, but I enjoyed it more for the side stuff you could do, not necessarily the story.
I agree. I think the reason I enjoyed it so I might still enjoy it now, but I think it's kind of different because I think of why a lot of people. I could be wrong. This is just my take on it. Why so many enjoyed it because we were like the age of the kid is like when the game came out we were like around the same age. So I don't
Hmm.
necessarily know if it would have that same feel now because I don't know now how like much I'd want to go back and play as a kid in school, tormenting other kids and stuff. I just especially in today's like world, I don't know how that would probably be like even approved. To be honest with you, because how soft people are, and just the way the
Uh,
world is now. But
that's the thing. They'd have to make a lot of jokes that I don't think the current, well, I guess our generation would appreciate.
yeah, I don't know. So maybe I guess I didn't think of it through the lens of like that it should get a. I don't know. Um, Honestly, I'm gonna be completely. It probably shouldn't. I'm gonna say this is the first one that we've talked about that it shouldn't because I just think they would do such a disservice to the first game. And I enjoyed the first game. I thought it was fun because my parents never wanted me to play GTA, but I could get Bully. It was T, so I could get Bully. Um,
Yeah, it was the family friendly GTA.
yeah, and it was
Kinda.
a little bit. It was fun. I think it was a necessary game, especially at the time. But I think we can do a little bit better in today's game.
Oh,
Not
hands
not not
down.
to say I wouldn't if they made a remake I wouldn't play it. I probably would, but I just don't see the need for a sequel in that game.
Not really. I mean, from where it left off, I don't even think it really left room for a sequel. I mean, you'd have to pick a new kid,
Well,
unless you put him in
obviously I
like
thought that's what they were gonna
a
do anyways.
yeah. I mean, unless you put him in like a military school, but I just feel like that's not gonna have the same feel as Bully.
No, it's kind of a product of its time, and I think that's where it should stay.
Yeah,
Some things aren't meant to last forever or be brought into the modern
Maybe
day.
remaster it,
Yeah,
give it some
that's
better graphics, but I don't think it needs a sequel.
no.
I think it honestly it would hurt the franchise more to do a sequel than.
Yep. So we're in lockstep there. I don't know how familiar you are. I know you've played at least a little bit, but I'm kind of familiar, but I haven't played all of them. The Prince of Persia series. That's what actually inspired Assassin's Creed. I really enjoyed the Prince of Persia series. I played I forget the Sands of Time or something. I played I forget which one it was on the Wii, and I thought it was really fun. You could turn into the dark side, like his like alter ego, and like you had the chains. It's kind of like Ghost Rider. You can use the chain, and then there's these cool like boss fights with quick time events, and it was a fun game. I really enjoyed it. I like the Prince of Persia series. I would love a remaster of that trilogy, and I know they make like kind of like the platformer. They did a remake of that, or they did like maybe a new. I don't remember, but that's not what I'm talking about when I want Prince of Persia. I want like a game like how they had like on the the Wii and the consoles.
Yeah, I never really got much into Prince of Persia. I played the one on PS3, but I don't know. I mean, it's a good game, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't my type of game.
No, I get that. It was like Assassin's Creed but hub based. Which
Hmm.
the way Ubisoft is now. Actually, I take back what I said. It does not need a sequel. It does not need anything because they would just end up ruining the. I forgot that it was made by Ubisoft. They're just going to end up ruining the integrity of what it is. I would take a remake for sure of the series, but actually, yeah, based off what Ubisoft has done and just based off Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I don't know if it just came out or if it's getting ready to come out. I'm good on that. Scratch that.
Yeah, never mind. We don't want a sequel.
Nope. A game that recently got remastered, remake. Well, no, I'm not gonna say remake because it just is a new coat of paint basically, and no real like crazy changes. I mean, it still looks like a PS2 game, but with HD graphics and stuff. Legacy of Kain, the Soul Reaver series. I liked that. I thought it was cool. You play as like two different vampires. Um, one of them you're in the underworld and you need to like take the souls of the people or like the monsters or whatever that you kill, and it's a revenge story. He basically killed the guy. One of the vampires killed another guy, and he can't die now. He's an immortal, so he's chasing the guy who killed them, and that's kind of the story of the games. It's a really fun series, a real cool series. I don't know why they discontinued it, why it fell off. I haven't looked it up, but it's something. Especially, I think it did pretty successful. It was pretty successful in the remake, or excuse me, the remaster. I just wish there was a different term besides remake and remaster because it just gets so confusing. Like, and I know that's on me, but it
Easy to
just
slip up.
yeah, it's easy to slip up on it, and I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see some more like good story driven games. Um,
Hmm.
so
No, I agree 100%.
it's a platformer though too, and they really don't do platformers too well anymore. I can't even really think of any. Like they just don't really make them
Mm,
anymore. Now that like Mario and Uncharted to a degree, but they don't even make Uncharted anymore because it's done. Um, and good luck trying to get another one when they're focused on whatever the hell that one game's called, which just looks like a freaking disaster.
Shadows?
No, Naughty Dog.
What game did you say?
Naughty Dog. The one with the bald
Oh,
chick in space looks horrible.
I didn't even look at it.
It looks abysmal. It's
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I would rather, and this is from somebody who doesn't even like Last of Us 2, and I would rather play Last of Us 2 and platinum it than play that new game. So that's how bad it looks to me. But moving on. Um, we also have Metal Gear Solid, which I know it's going to get a remake. Like I said, that's probably my most anticipated game of the year. I love stealth games like that. I love Splinter Cell. I like Splinter Cell better. I like Sam Fisher better than Snake. But I definitely love Metal Gear Solid as well. And I'm excited for it. But with that being said, hopefully this remake goes over extremely well. Hopefully it sells so many copies because I know why they stopped making it because the rift between Kojima and Konami, but and they did them dirty. But man, it would be cool to see another one at some point in the future if they could, because you would think at some point they're gonna have to have new like leadership. So maybe there could be a resolution there. I don't know. But I mean, Kojima's doing damn well on his own, making Death Stranding and stuff. So it's not like we're losing out like entirely. So
Yeah, no, I think we'll be okay, but only time will tell, unfortunately.
yeah. All right. Now here it says Dino Crisis. I never played that. Silent Hill.
I
You
didn't either.
already went over that. I agree. I haven't played Fear, but it's always looked good when I've seen it. And it is made by Monolith and Warner Brothers Games. It's recently shut down. And this is what I was gonna say earlier that I forgot. Yeah. This is what I was gonna talk about. Um, the the Middle Earth Shadow series because the fact that Warner Brothers and Monolith, which is the owner and the company that got shut down, they don't exist anymore. So that means we'll probably never get another Middle Earth game, and that is such a shame because the first one, the Shadow of Mordor, I absolutely love. Has one of the best stories I think in any game. Has one of the best revenge stories. I mean, it literally starts out and your wife and kid get killed in front of you. Like, there's no like, oh my god, way to start a game. That's the most like WTF thing I've ever seen at the beginning of a game. It
It's right
just
to the point.
you just get locked in immediately. Like
It's like your
it's
wife and kid are dead. Go get revenge.
literally. And talk about the combat. I mean, my God, it took Assassin's Creed and Batman Arkham combat, and it just elevated it. It was the dream scenario. Like in Assassin's Creed, like I mean, it was fun, but it didn't really make sense that you were just overpowering every single fighter. I mean, at the end of the day, you're an assassin and you're a good fighter, but like to just overpower every single person is just a normal guy. It kinda, you know I get it, but for this, it makes so much sense because you're literally like you're a ranger. You're literally like you are the best of the best, and you can have that power fantasy in this game because I mean you're meant to be that guy. You're meant to have like the dark and then the light side. Like it's you can't.
which should be like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they followed suit.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like a part of the Lord of the Rings, like necessarily. It was in the world. They kind of made their own story. This was never a part of the actual like Lord of the Rings. The only character that I can remember that was actually in the books or anything is Celebrimbor, the person who forged the ring that you turn into, like when he like turns into shadow and he can't die. That he made the rings, and that's who was in like the books and stuff. But everything else, it just takes the setting and it made a whole new story. And my God, dude! For me, as a Lord of the Rings fanatic, that's better than any of the Lord of the Rings games. I mean, the movie games were really fun. Don't get me wrong. And War of the North was a decent game, and Conquest was fun. But for me, top to bottom, the Middle Earth games are the best. So
I mean, same. Uh,
and the Nemesis system too, which we didn't talk about.
well, what's the one? Uh, it's the real time strategy where you can build troops and
Battle for
units.
Middle Earth.
Yeah, that one.
That one's
I
really
love
fun.
that one.
I watched
I
people
played
play
it on the
that.
PS2, I think, and then I was like, this game's awesome. Then never played it again because I think we rented it, and then just
I love watching
faded
people play
out.
it. It's fun. Like instead of like Rome, Total War, and all that, or I forget all the names of all those strategy games. But I watch people play that Lord of the Rings strategy
Oh,
game. It's
I
fun.
love real time strategy games.
I
I
love
love
watching people
well,
play them.
I like watching people play them because they're much faster and better than me at them.
Hmm.
But I have had blasts on real time strategies.
Yeah, it's not for me. I don't like playing them at all, but I love watching them. I love people that know what they're doing, going in there and just doing whatever they want. It's something for me that's fun to sit down for hours and just watch somebody do what they're
Yeah.
good at. But I would never pick one up because it just infuriates me because I mean I suck at them, so I'm not
I
gonna do
mean,
it.
it's kind of like chess, where like one mistake, and I mean, you might as well just stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'll stick to my MLB and I'll stick to my story games and I'll stay in my lane because that is not it.
You dang right. Stay in your lane.
I'm gonna skip racing games because well, caveat. I hate racing games, but I will throw in a quick one that we have not seen since Mortal Kombat Armageddon, the Mortal Kombat kart racing. I know it was a mini game. I thought that was really fun.
Mortal Kombat also had chess. A lot of
It
people
had
forget
it
that.
had chess too. That was really fun.
Didn't it have like a
It had
Tetris like
I was
game?
gonna say it had Tetris in one of them too, and then you would
That
get in
was
the match and
that
you
was
just
Deception.
yeah
Deception had those. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I mean we're not big racing fans. I will say though, I want a Need for Speed Most Wanted remaster.
I never played it, but yeah, Need for Speed.
Out of all of them, that one looked the most fun because there were so many cars to collect. You had to beat like illegal street racers, and when you
Mhm.
beat them, you got their car. It looked so much fun,
Yeah.
and they never released it. I mean, I have a PS3. I can go get it, but the game's like $60 because it's kind of like NCAA football
Oh
before
yeah.
they made the new one. The price
That
was
game was
insane.
$140.
Yeah, because they weren't gonna make any more. People thought,
Mm-hmm.
which Need for Speed may be the way their franchise is going. I'm surprised if they're even gonna. It's gonna be like Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero is another one.
Guitar is another one, but I really don't think they would do justice to it. Like if they made it anymore, and it would be so money hungry. Like I,
I
I
think they could make a lot of money,
they
but
could.
they'd
They
have to
wouldn't do it
target
right.
people.
They wouldn't
They'd
do it
have to
right.
target middle-aged people. They'd have to.
Yeah, they're just not gonna do it right. That's why I don't want them to do it because you can get Clone Hero now and download any song you want, and like yeah, it's inconvenience because you can't do it from your console. But I know what you're saying. If they did it and did it right, it would be a great thing to do. But I just know Activision. I know they won't do it right. I know they're gonna be too money hungry. I know they're gonna charge you $5 for freaking. I almost slept up there and had to bleep myself out.
Is that a bad word?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't care about saying bad words, but I try to refrain from the F word on here. Um, but I'm sure there'll be some slip ups in the future. But yeah, they'll charge you freaking like $5 for two different songs, or like, it's just gonna be just scummy, just stuff like that, you know. And I know how Activision is, so I don't trust them to do the Guitar Hero series justice. Um, just gonna
Nope,
be honest with you.
they don't. I mean, I don't either. I just, I want one so bad, but
Yeah,
I
I
know
want
it's one
one
of
bad
those.
too.
I just know it's not going to be good,
That's
even if
the
they
only
do
thing
make
close
one.
I have is a drum game like Guitar Hero on my VR. It's called Paradiddle. That's fun. You can download like any song with, well, not any song, but a lot of songs they'll have, and you can download them and then port them over to that game and just do them on the drums. It's really fun. I like that. Not the
I've been
best at
playing
it.
Smashing Drums.
Yeah, I haven't played that one. Was it no? There, I think that might
That
have been.
one's like Guitar Hero.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this one is like Guitar Hero, but it's like you actually like learn to play the actual. It's kind of like Rock Band, I guess, versus Guitar Hero. So it's like the same thing, but it like actually teaches you like how to play it at the same time. So I don't know, but yeah, they're fun. I love those rhythm games, to be honest.
Oh, I do too.
So
But they're also fading out, so
they are. Um,
fun day.
it says the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series on here. I don't think it needs any new games. I really don't. But as long as they're remaking or remastering three and 4,
3 and 4.
and 4 was
Yep.
my favorite of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. So I'm excited for that. I'm gonna end up buying it just because I love the fourth game. I probably won't even hardly play it at all, but I'll get it just because I mean it was a game from my freaking childhood.
Yeah, I mean, yep, there it
I
is.
can't freaking you can't even see it here. Yeah, kind of see it.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, Tony Hawk's old now, so
Yep.
he ain't up there doing tricks no more.
No, he ain't up there for sure. I mean, he still looks kind of young. I mean, he looks old, but he still looks like kind of like a kid though
I
too.
mean,
It's
yeah, I
funny.
mean he's old but looks young. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm glad they're remaking it, and but it doesn't need, in my opinion, any new games because it just what could they really do that they haven't done in any of those other games unless they're gonna make like a humongous open world skating game. Like it just
I think
and really
Skate's a better
how
one.
I've never played Skate, but a
Well,
lot of
for
people think it's
sequel wise,
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
better.
Oh,
I think it would
absolutely,
be better.
absolutely. Um, I have never really played any of these. I played Deus Ex. I played the one on the PS4. Super underrated game. Super good. Super ahead of its time. But I don't have a lot to say about it because I've only ever played that one. I haven't even beat it. But it was like really cool. It's kind of like Cyberpunk because it was futuristic esque, and but the decisions you make in that game can like actually like change the story around like a whole bunch, and you have so many different decisions. I don't know. It's just a fun game, and I really wish they would make another one, but I don't know what the problem is. But you know,
I mean yeah, Deus Ex was. I mean that one was kind of like Infamous though, wasn't it?
I don't.
I thought it kind of it always looked similar to me. Um, but I mean I don't know. I loved Infamous. Well, there you go. There's another one that's probably dead. Infamous second. Well, Infamous is dead, but
Yeah,
Second Son was.
Second
I love
Son.
that game.
I
It
liked
was
it.
just so short.
Yeah, it was a very
Again,
short game.
so short.
It was a good game, but I
It
liked.
was.
I've never played the first two, but the first two always looked a lot better to me.
Well,
Um,
I loved the powers you could get, like the
no,
power of
it's cool.
neon
The
and things like
idea,
that.
like absolutely, I don't know why they don't make another one. They did the DLC to the second, and then it's been it. Like after they did Second Son,
And that was God, like 2015.
2015 or 16. Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was fun. I thought it sold well. Maybe not. Um, there's a
Apparently
whole
not well enough to get a sequel.
apparently not well enough. There's a whole bunch of multiplayer ones. SOCOM we can go over briefly. I don't necessarily know how much it's really needed in today's gaming sphere. And then we got Medal of Honor 2. I don't really know. Like, if they're going to do what Call of Duty does but do it better, I'm up for it. Go ahead, try it. But it's not like I'm just, honest to God, just so over the military shooter games anymore because they can start out good and then they just become just, so boring.
I mean, I like them, but the problem is Medal of Honor needs to just focus on like a great campaign if they're gonna make a game. They can't do multiplayer. Like Medal of Honor multiplayer, that just sounds awful.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's my personal opinion. But to each
Yeah,
their own.
I'm right there with you. But
I just
we do have Titanfall, which I never played a lot of, but I actually enjoyed that a lot when went and played Titanfall 2. I played it briefly online. It was kind of
I
like
heard it was
it
good,
was old when
but
I played it. It was fun. I thought it was really good.
I know a lot of people were pissed about them making like Apex and not focusing on Titanfall. I know
Yep.
people were mad about that.
Well, they should be because it was an actual good, like game. It was a good multiplayer shooter. I really enjoyed it. I got in
Apparently,
late to the party, but all their focus is going on Apex, and it makes sense because it's a huge game.
I
But
mean,
it's not my
yeah,
cup of tea.
I like it. Out of all the battle royales, I think Apex was my favorite, but it kind
Blackout was
of
my favorite, but
well, I mean, yeah, modern. We'll say modern day because that one is from like what 2014. Good lord, all these
Blackout
games
from
are so
2018.
old. Oh, never mind. I thought it was even older. That still makes me feel kind of old.
No, it's from Black Ops 4 2018, or last year, school before we graduated.
Oh God.
Yep, that's how I always remember it because it was the one that we went out on a bang.
Send us off. Send us off.
It was a send off, all right. Um, now,
Bring back the nine bang.
yeah, bring back the nine bang just so we don't have to see our future. Um,
Oh, you'll see it. It'll just be super bright.
well, you're gonna have to wear sunglasses then. Um,
Stop. You're
now
banned.
I wish. Um, now, why did this happen to all these games? Yeah, I don't really know. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I dug into each and like every single reason for why all of these games failed. But I can address, overall, the litany of reasons why these failed. Either due to the company losing the license, like we went over with Marvel Rivals, just to like not doing well sell wise, probably with like SOCOM and you know, not Metal Gear Solid, SOCOM and Medal of Honor, and stuff like that. Because Call of Duty and Battlefield was always destroying them in the numbers, so obviously they're not gonna
Yeah.
make as much. And then on top of that, I don't know, could just be like kind of just coincides with the not enough sales, but just fatigue of like a certain genre or just. But I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with people just not believing in their product and incompetent studios. If you want to get down to it, is my real reason. But
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to say that. But that's what I believe
I
is
mean,
because the
they
people
won't
that don't want
admit
to
it.
they don't want to put in the work, and they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in the product. But to that I say
Yeah,
that you're dumbass because you don't know good gaming. Just because you don't think it's gonna work doesn't mean it can't work. You can do things and change
that's
them up just a
true.
little bit and it'll work. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I mean, I wish people had more honor in the sense of like when they reach the end of a game where they're like, we can't do anything more with this.
stop.
I mean, sell it off.
Yeah, just be
Sign a
done.
deal where it's like we keep the profit from the old games, but you keep anything moving forward. Because, I mean, and each game's so unique that you can't be like, oh, it's bad studios. Because it's like, there's so many games you could think of that's like, well, it wasn't bad studio. The studio's still around. I
Mm-hmm.
think a big problem is, like you said, a lack of confidence in your product. And I mean, I think a lot of games they stay their welcome, and then I think it's just time takes its toll, and then eventually they just have to go. I mean, it's good God, can you imagine if they were still making like I don't even know like a good example off the top of my head, but I know there's a couple games where people were like, "I'm so glad that ended."
Yeah, I can't
Next,
really.
next we should do games that have like stood the test of time because like God of War, that game has stood the test of time.
It has, but my God, it's kind of starting to go teeter
If
up to
they
where
go to
it's
Egypt and they do it correctly, that game will be
no.
revived, I
If
think.
they're gonna have to get their story better, which Corey Barlog, the creator of God of War, isn't with them anymore. So it's just that's the thing. You get these people that have these great minds that make these good stories, and then they just don't have anything to do with it. Like how you're talking about earlier when Miyazaki didn't have any part in Dark Souls 2. It just you can't have somebody have just this amazing idea and it has this vision to see it through, and then just take them out of their own product that they formed. Like that's how
Yep.
you destroy franchises. I'm not saying it can't be done. It can't be done and end on a good note in some cases, but for me, I'm a purist. When I see something like this is gonna sound so shitty to me, but like when I listen to music and stuff, I look for people that write their own music and stuff because I want them to like actually feel and stuff. Like this doesn't relate to these games anyway, but it kind of does. It just I want the people who are writing about it to actually have felt and went through what they're singing and stuff about. And it kind of goes the same
I
with
mean, yeah.
games. I want the people who have designed the character, who know the ins and outs of the character, who it's their character, so they will know the character better than anybody else. I want them to see that vision through. And granted, it isn't always going to happen, but like revive the series in like a different way. And I know they kind of revived God of War in a different way,
Yeah.
but like
I
I
mean,
don't
imagine
know. It
if
just
Lord of the Rings halfway through they just passed it off to another person. They're like, "Here you go, finish it up."
I don't even
Like that's the equivalent.
it literally is, and I think that's the crux of the issue. Kind of just without even looking for the answer. I think we kind of found our answer right there. It's not for every obviously thing, but for like God of War as an example, you just you start to lose what made it truly so special by taking these people out that created it, and it just like look at the Batman Arkham series
Yeah, and
when they
unfortunately, it happens to games, movies. I mean,
everything
yeah,
books.
it's yep. I mean, it sucks that writers can't like take their work usually with them, and then it's just left to just rot and just be garbage
But then
essentially.
again, when they sign over their rights and their ownership, I mean that's on them.
I mean, yeah,
But then
absolutely.
again, how are you supposed to unless you're like in the case of like the dude who made Stardew Valley Concerned Ape or whatever? How are you supposed to really do stuff like make like a God of War esque title like on your own without any backing or any like money from studios? And so it makes sense, but man, does it just freaking suck? It just
I
sucks.
mean, it does. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It always will. I mean, wasn't it George Lucas who he like signed the rights for to Star Wars away and then
Disney.
immediately regretted it?
Yep.
Yep.
Look at it
So I
now.
mean,
There's not much good to say. And granted, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so it doesn't really bother
I'm not
me.
either.
But it just sucks to see something that everybody loves and stood the test of time, and then it's just over here just slop, just getting thrown around like it's a barnyard.
Well, I think we all have something we've loved like that that has met the same fate.
Oh,
Like
it's
in
happened
terms
to
of
almost
just
everything. So I mean, it's impossible
yep,
almost to go through
Punisher.
life. Oh yeah, I mean the comic book wise, yes, but I mean he's supposed to be getting a good send off. He's supposed to have his own like a show coming up here soon. Not like show, but like a movie, like kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special type thing, where it's like a one off like revival, but like kind of send off of the character. Yeah, Punisher's getting that, and John
Hmm.
Bernthal actually co-wrote it, so it's gonna be really
Oh
good
wow.
knowing that he
I
co-wrote
didn't
it.
think I
Yeah.
didn't think that guy really wrote anything. I
Oh
thought he
yeah.
just kind of showed up and
Nope. He wanted to be. He wanted
hmm.
because he loves the character. He said he didn't want to come back and do it unless he does it right. Because like, there's people like him and like Charlie Cox, who's Daredevil. They want the integrity of the character kept, or they won't agree to it. Like that's like how Henry Cavill was too. He takes his role seriously, like with Witcher, with
True.
Geralt, and like with Superman. And this doesn't have anything to do with gaming, but it is the still in my opinion the dumbest decision ever made on in movie history. One of them is kicking Henry Cavill out of the Superman role. I mean, what are you thinking, James Gunn? You're a moron.
We're gonna have to start a movie podcast.
I'm not really a movie guru, so that wouldn't go
I'm
over
not
well.
either.
That's probably a you and Tevis type thing. There you go. There's Tevis's
Or Drayton.
podcast, or Drayton. I mean, dude, I don't watch movies. I don't. The only TV I've watched in the last like since Better Call Saul ended, I've started to watch the revival of Daredevil. That's literally the only TV I've watched
Correct.
in years.
You
So
don't know much. You don't know much about games, but here you are.
I mean, I don't, depending on who you ask. I mean, to be honest, like, I don't know. A lot of this stuff is just like from like when we were younger, I feel like. So it just, I don't know. I don't really have to do a lot of studying, or especially like this episode. Like, this is just games that we've enjoyed through our livelihoods, like, our lifetime. And
Our livelihoods.
I messed it up, our lifetimes. I wish it was my livelihood. Man, maybe one day get a couple million
It'd be a good
subscribers.
Hey, I'll sit in front of a camera for an hour or two and
Me too.
cash in a paycheck. I don't care.
I might even do some crazy things in front of the camera for some dollars here and there.
We should do a donation stream.
We should. When I live in
Every
live
donation,
stream,
Drew takes a shot of Tabasco sauce.
every donation I have like a electric chair hooked up, like the setup, and I'm like sitting in an electric chair and it just zaps me every time. The more money you donate, the longer it does. We're not gonna have the wet
Hmm.
sponges or anything like that, but we could.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
too much. Too much. We're starting to get off topic, but I mean,
maybe.
unless you, I guess we could do our kind of like closing statements. This is court. I know you've been through that
Yeah, I mean, what?
decent amount through courts and the states of law
Yeah,
and all that.
dude, you're making me sound like I'm a felon.
Well, I guess we'll have to cut this out too. Oh my god.
I mean, you could leave it in, but I'm not a felon. I've never
Not that I
been to
know of.
jail. Look it up.
So I guess we can end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button, or we won't be making any more episodes. So it's up to you guys if we make more.
Yep,
I'm kidding.
it's all on you. I'm
I'm
kidding, but please, please,
please donate $1 million.
just 1 million, and we can get this off the ground.
We can get it going. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Take your fist, smash that subscribe button, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.
See you in the next one.